able to make it. I was not feeling well. Alhamdulillah, I'm feeling a lot better now. But for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be out of town. So I apologize for all the disruptions. So after I come back, inshallah, we'll resume, inshallah. So I again appreciate your patience with that. Um, so this is actually today's hadith. I was looking forward to it. It's actually the story of the boy and the king. And actually, there's even they made a movie about this, and it's a beautiful story. And we'll see how this relates to sabr, which is our current chapter, in our analysis. I know that it's late. I'll try to be quick, inshallah, but it is a long hadith, but we'll try to go through it quickly, inshallah. So it was narrated, Suhaib radiallahu anh reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "There lived a king before you, and he had a court magician. As he grew old, the magician, he said to the king, 'I have grown old, so send me a young boy in order to teach him magic.' The king sent him a young boy to serve the purpose. And on his way to the magician, the young boy met a monk, to whom he listened to and liked what he had to say. It became his habit that on his way to the magician, he would meet the monk and sit there and would come to the magician late. The magician used to beat him because of this delay. He complained about this to the monk, who said to him, 'When you feel afraid of the magician, say, members of my family detained me. And when you fear your family, say, the magician detained me.' It so happened that there came a huge beast, and it blocked the way of the people. So the young boy said, 'I will know today whether the magician or the monk is better.' He picked up a stone and he said, 'O Allah, if the way of the monk is dearer to you than the way of the magician, bring about death to the animal so that the people be able to move about freely.' He threw the stone at it and it killed it, and the people began to move about freely. He then came to the monk and told him the story. The monk said, 'Son, today you are superior to me. You have come to a stage where I feel that you too would be soon put to trial. And in case you are put to trial, do not reveal me.' That young boy began to heal those that were born blind and the lepers, and he in fact began to cure people from all kinds of diseases and illnesses. When one of the courtiers of the king who had gone blind heard about him, he came to him with numerous gifts and said, 'If you cure me, all these things will be yours.' And he, the boy, said, 'I myself do not cure anything. It is Allah, the Exalted, alone who cures. And if you affirm faith in Allah, I shall also make dua to Allah to cure you.' The courtier then affirmed his faith in Allah, and Allah cured him. He came to the king and sat by his side as he used to sit before him. The king, noticing that he was different, said to him, 'Who restored your eyesight?' And the man said, 'My Rabb.' And then the king said, 'Do you have another Lord beside me?' And that man said, 'My Rabb, and your Rabb is Allah.' So the king kept torturing him until he revealed the young boy. The young boy was thus summoned, and the king said to him, 'O boy, it has been conveyed to me that you have become so much proficient in your magic that you cure the blind and lepers, and you do such and such.' And so the boy, he said, 'I do not cure anyone, it is Allah alone who cures.' And so the king took hold of him and began to torture him until he revealed the monk. The monk was summoned, and it was said to him, 'You should turn back from your religion.' But he refused. And so the king sent for a saw, and they placed it in the middle of his head and cut him in two parts that fell down on either side. So they cut him in half as a torture. And then the courier of the king was brought forward, and it was said to him, 'Turn back from your religion.' And he also refused. And they did the same thing to him with the saw, cut him in half from head down through his middle. And he was torn into two parts. Then the boy was sent for, and it was said to him, 'Turn back from your religion.' And he refused. The king then handed him over to a group of other courtiers, people in the court of the king, and he said to him, 'Take him up to such and such mountain, make him climb up that mountain, and when you reach its peak, ask him to renounce his faith. If he refuses to do so, push him to his death.' So they took him and made him climb up the mountain and said, and he said, the boy, 'O Allah, save me from them in any way you like.' And the mountain began to shake, and they all fell down dead. And that boy, he came back to the king. And the king said to him, what happened to your companions? As if they were his companions. He said, Allah saved me from them. And so he did it again. He sent him with some other courtiers and said, take him and carry him on a boat. So now I think, oh, it's the mountain, so let's give another way. Take him on a boat. And when you reach the middle of the sea, ask him to renounce his religion. And if he does not renounce his religion, throw him into the water. So they took him, and he said, oh, Allah saved me from them. The boat turned upside down, and they all drowned, except the young boy, who came back to the king again. And the king said, what happened to your companions? And he said, Allah saved me from them. And then he said to the king, look, I know what you're going to do next. If you want to kill me, you will not be able to. You cannot kill me until you do what I command you to do. Who is this boy, subhanAllah? It's very amazing. And so the king said, what is that? And he said, gather all the people in one place and tie me up to the trunk of the tree. And then take an arrow from my quiver and say, with the name of Allah, the Rabb of the boy. So in other words, say, Bismillah, the Rabb of the boy, then shoot me. If you do that, you will be able to kill me. So the king called the people in an open field. He tied the young boy to the tree, at the trunk of the tree. He took out an arrow from his quiver, fixed it in his bow, and he said, with the name of Allah, Bismillah, the Rabb of the boy, and then shot the arrow, and it hit the boy's temple, the temple, right here. And the young boy placed his hand upon the temple where the arrow had hit him, and he died. The people then said, we believe in the Rabb of the young boy. And the king was told, do you see what you were afraid of? By Allah, it has taken place. All people have believed. So the people told him, you were trying to stop the people from believing. By your own hand now, you led all the people to believe. So the king then commanded that the trenches be dug and a fire lit in them, and said, he who would not turn back from the young boy's religion, throw him in the fire. Or he would be ordered to jump into it. They did so till a woman came with her child, and the woman was hesitant to jump in because, of course, she's holding her baby. And the child said to her, oh, my mother, have sabr, be patient, persevere, for you are on the right path. This is the story of the boy and the king. And these people are the people of the trench. The fire, the people that were thrown into the fire and thrown down. The people that were punished by the fire. It's mentioned in the Quran. So this was the boy and the king. The story is about the people that were forced to be thrown into the trench of fire to disbelieve. And they did not disbelieve. They had sabr throughout this. The boy demonstrated sabr throughout the whole ordeal with the king. He demonstrated sabr when he chose to believe in Allah and test who was correct, the magician or Allah, but he believed in Allah and he put Allah first, and he knew that the magician must not be right. This is not good, but what the monk is telling me, this is pure. And last but not least, the mother was patient, and in fact, her baby spoke, and this is one of the very rare occasions when the baby would speak. And we know that there's only a few other examples where this happened, and that's a hadith for another time, inshallah. So, jazakumullah khair, everybody, for your time. Barakallahu fikum for staying. If I said anything good, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. If I said anything bad, it is only from myself and shaitan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us the beneficial knowledge, to rain down upon us sabr, to give us sabr to all of our affairs, to allow us to persevere through whatever hardships and difficulties we have to face. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the very best in the dunya and in the akhirah. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant relief to all of our brothers and our sisters that are suffering in Palestine, in Kashmir, in Sudan, in Yemen, in all of the places around the world where there is oppression. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant victory to the truth and justice, and to lift the oppression from them and to replace it with justice. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to free all the people from their hardships. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك واشهد ان لا اله الا انت واستغفرك واتوب اليك. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.